It's my pleasure, or it's still afternoon, late afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our graduation or pinning ceremony for the senior nursing students. First of all, I would also say very, very welcome, especially to Julie Parody. She's our guest speaker for tonight. And then we've got a few other important people here that I would like to mention. Bill Willen. Thank you very much for being here. The president couldn't be here, so he's standing in for the president. And Martin Bernstein from Northern Maine. Very nice to have you here. And John Martin, of course, he's like part of nursing, part of faculty, part of the state, whatever. Welcome. The rest of the nursing faculty, thank you very much. It's very nice seeing everybody here. And also Deb, thank you very much for being here. I've seen Sharon Johnson there at the back and Kelly Connor. Thank you very much for coming. And then the most important people here tonight, the friends and family of the students, thank you very much for coming. What I would like to do now is to introduce the students to you, and I'll be reading out the names as they're coming down the aisle. Okay, we'll start, and the first one, Susan Marie Bouchard. Seth Brooker. Faith Cody. Dawn Desjardins. Elaine Desjardins. Joanne Desjardins. Brenda Nadeau-Deveau. Patricia Marie Deveau. Sabrina Jean Dixon. Roy Gardner. Lisa Ann Landry. Tina Ann Ouellette. Amy Denise Pelletier. Christine Picard. Suzanne Ray Corset. Plus, of course, it's Derek. Unfortunately, one of our students cannot be here tonight, Deirdre Raymond. Pamela Joyce Secor. Stacy Slocum. Sharon Carolyn Smart. Audrey Jane Sullivan. Kristen Marie Wiesen. And Mark Stephen Wakefield. I would like to introduce the nursing faculty to your friends, parents. First of all, I suppose I have to start with Vincent Pelletier. He's our chair. Can you perhaps just get up so people can see you? And I'll just go off in the row so it's nobody's more important than the other person. Alona Harris. Unfortunately, Alona is leaving us at the end of the semester, so we really hope that she'll be happy where she's going and to keep us in mind and keep in contact with us. The next person, Dale Gordon. She's also leaving us, and well, she's just down the road, so I'm sure we'll see her. Rachel Elberg. And Kelly Goodrow. And of course, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Rowena Tesman, and I'm sure, as you can gather from the accent, definitely not from the Valley. So please excuse if the accent is a bit different than what you're used to. I am not from this area. I come from South Africa. So I would like to ask Paul Wallen, Dean of Academic Affairs, to come up front. Thanks.
Thank you, Rowena. I'm very happy to stand in for the President this evening. I'm looking forward to what Judy has to tell us. But between the time that Judy gets here and the time that Rowena has left, I'm to stand in. So, graduates, it's a pleasure to be here to participate in the ceremony that marks the completion of your course of study. You've worked very hard on your studies, which will serve you well as preparation for the hard work you will be doing in your profession. And I believe Marty can tell you about that if you'd like to stop by. Speaking for the University of Maine at Fort Kent, I want to tell you how proud we are of your accomplishments and your preparation. Now, back in the Middle Ages, before the advent of medical science, people had strange ideas about the body. You doubtless, in the course of your studies, have learned that the liver was considered the seat of passions or the seat of love. It's a good thing that Martha Reeves, among others, discovered that love was like an itching in her heart. Imagine what might have been. We might have had a daily dose of liver. Imagine receiving little chocolate livers with "Will you be mine?" inscribed. Imagine turning on the radio and hearing "Don't tell my liver, my achy, breaky liver." Or old country tune. It's one of my favorites. One has my name, the other has my liver. Sharon Johnson could tell you that the stars at night would be big and bright deep in the liver of Texas. Sergeant Pepper would have had a Lonely Livers Club band. Neil Young would have been searching for a liver of gold. And down at the end of Lonely Street would have been, yes, Liver Break Hotel. Now, this may seem gratuitous, but there is a connection to be made between popular music and medicine. No, I'm not advocating music therapy with Megadeth. Barbara Tuchman, the great modern historian of the Middle Ages, tells us in A Distant Mirror that during the Middle Ages, one given to imaginative literality, quote, medicine was analogous to music because its object was the harmony of the human body. Sounds like a modern idea. This harmonious idea may be traced to the great mathematician and physician Pythagoras. When the name is said, you probably think of nothing other than a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But one could argue, as I am doing now, that Pythagoras was an early wellness advocate. Body, mind, and world in harmony is a marvelous ideal. I charge you all to honor that Pythagorean precept, or Pythagorean precept. And I charge you all with learning to pronounce Pythagorean. And one other thing, may you always hold the ideals of harmony and of wellness close to your liver. Please accept my congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much, Amber. The students that are here, you probably know me very well, very disorganized, absent-minded. I am the person that's teaching psychiatric nursing, so it really fits in well. I think I forgot the most important person, and that's Lena, our secretary. And please believe me, without her, there would be no classes for nursing. Please believe me. And she's the one that's organizing everybody, starting at the top with Vince, and making sure that all the faculty knows exactly what they have to do, and also the students. So Lena, sorry that I didn't mention you first, but thank you very much. Well, Judy, I don't know if you can match that first speech. So, being very, very anxious to see what you've got to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rowena. We all have our accents, and you will be hearing mine during this presentation, I'm sure. It is indeed an honor and privilege to be with all of you tonight. It's such an exciting time, because all of us who have been in some of these institutions know the energy and the hard work that it brings us to an evening like tonight. When I was a child in the St. John Valley, we had two choices as women if we wanted to go on to college. One was to be a nurse, and one was to be a teacher. And so, not surprisingly, in my family, 4 of us girls went on to become teachers, and 3 went on to the nursing profession. And that's why it's so important for me to be here tonight, because every once in a while, around the family reunions, the teachers would keep quiet and we would listen to the nurses. And so I always found those times intriguing. Never mind, when I was in high school, my sister was training at the Edmonton School of Nursing, and we'd check out her uniform when she'd arrive in the morning after a night shift to see how much activity had gone on the night before. So we learned a lot. We had the best descriptions of childbirth then. At those times, so she'd come home all excited about it. It is a vocation indeed, and that is, it's more than just a job, and you know that already. And as you move around the country, here and abroad, because you will never be at a loss for work, because your services will always be in much demand, as it is still a growth industry. For you to have chosen nursing when you had so many other choices attests to the fact that it is a vocation, and that you have you have chosen a profession that is very, very noble indeed. You are dealing with individuals that are forever in a very vulnerable situation. And people in such a predicament have a wide variety of reactions. You also need to interact with the concerned family members. And most people are fairly healthy and only occasionally come in contact with healthcare providers, as you well know. So most people remember very well the traumas, the strange situation they become involved in. For example, this morning I was at a hardware store in Madawaska. We have some roofers. And I've even climbed on the roof, and I was very pleased about that. I was waiting in line at a counter with a young woman carrying Karibo, and I looked at her and I said, "Weren't you at the accident?" Because a couple of years ago I was involved in an accident, and guess who they hauled out the street to be in the car with me, to hold my hand more or less, or look out for me until the ambulance arrived? Karen. And so even probably as a freshman, she was being asked by her community, by her family members, by her friends to assist. And this, I'm sure, has happened to you forever, and it will continue happening. My first reaction was, did I send you a thank you note? Because my mother would insist that when somebody helps out that you do that, and I had, and I'm so pleased about that. But and it's like I said, forevermore, you are the experts, and what an honor and what a responsibility. I hear it over and over from elderly people when they get a verdict. They want to hear it from someone they trust, believe in, respect, and admire. It's a calling, and like I said, a very honorable one. It is. As with most professions, one can usually handle the day-to-day demands of the job. However, it's the politics of the situation that will disillusion you, because often it forces you to expend energy that you don't have. I always get a kick out of the fact that people always make a crack about state politicians or federal or local. Mark knows that very well. When actually some of the politics that goes on is not there at all. It's on the job, everyday type of activities. In the nursing profession, like in the teaching profession, for so many years it was mainly females, and we didn't get very active. We didn't get too well organized. And I see, but we finally did when the men joined our ranks, because they were braver and more, they knew that some changes had to be made. And I see already changes have been happening. We have had activity from the nursing profession and the legislature like I've never seen it before, and it's very welcome, because they have you have a lot to say to us. One of the problems, as is in any profession, is nurses who will align themselves on the different sides of the issues, and it makes it harder. And one of the examples I like to use, for example, in education, we had learning results, and basically what the legislation said was that every child in front of you has to learn, and if he can't learn, you have to explain why. And that became so controversial. All of a sudden people were worried about that. Well, if the town decides they want to let the children not learn, that's their decision, that's a local decision. And so that's how things that should be very common sense become so complicated, and that's exactly what happened with, in the last few years with the nursing profession. Things that were common sense, that for a long time needed, were a long time being debated, and had to be watered down incredibly for it to go anywhere. We live in a democracy, and it is the hardest type of government there is, the only one, but the hardest one. Nothing comes easily, and nothing is taken for granted. There is a process, and that's what we try to learn that process, but you are in competition with, in terms of policy making or impacting policy making, you're in competition with legislators who have issues that they want to deal with, insurance companies, whatever. I I, as a teacher, tried to avoid the politics of education, and it found me, because my not wanting to be involved, it labeled me as being passive or an easy prey. You, as professionals, will be walking the fine line of doing your job while being conscious, aware, and hopefully participating in the policy making part, because you are the hands-on experts. I have seen in the last few years, and John can attest to that, the nursing profession being energized like never before. And I hope that continues. Another issue that I'm very pleased about, and John can attest to it, that we will sometimes get a call from a nursing provider, medical care provider, because as they're dealing with the person's needs, the medical needs, there are other issues in that family that need to be addressed, and they'll make a phone call and say, I've checked this out, can you call so-and-so and see what you can do? And I always so appreciate somebody taking that extra time to help to find the answer. And usually with us, if we can't find the answer, we know where to go. But a holistic type of nursing is being practiced in this valley, and it's very much appreciated. That type of service above and beyond is reinforced with me many times, because Marianne, the youngest daughter in my family, the seventh daughter, she worked at Northern Maine Medical Center. She worked at nursing homes. She did, I don't know, 20 years in the valley. I think she worked in a lot of the health centers and such. And when people knew she was my sister, they would usually tell me a story about how well she had taken care of their maid or their mom or themselves. And I vowed, this was when I first got elected, I vowed never to do otherwise in my own work. And that attitude has served me well, that my little sister has taught me. The reform in the delivery of healthcare is on a fast track, and it can be very scary possibilities because it's moving so fast. But then it's been since the 1800s we've been trying to do changes, and it has not come easily. But the high cost of medical care is now forcing changes in the state of Maine. We've had to be grabbing all over the place to try to keep paying our medical bills, because as you know, if you get sick in Maine, you get taken care of. Many people don't realize how things are intertwined, and that we indeed are not islands into ourselves. Everything we do does impact society as a whole, and that's why you saw the seatbelt bill passed for people this year, for adults, because the committees of jurisdiction became convinced how expensive that was for the taxpayers of the state to pick up the health care costs of people who are severely injured in accidents. You will be a part of this very, very exciting change. But I have no doubt that you will be up to it. There's no doubt in my mind the training that you have received from the teachers at this institution and all the others who have walked by your side as you have prepared for this day and night will guide you all the days of your life in this wonderful and life-saving profession. Getting a nursing program at the University of Maine in Fort Bend is one of the best things that's ever happened to us. And again, we appreciate the sacrifices you and your families have made to get to this day. Society will be a lot better because of your presence here this evening. Félicitations, congratulations, best wishes, Godspeed, bravo, formidable, à la prochaine.
Thank you very much, Julie. I was just down in Bangor for 2 weeks with a group of junior students doing their psychiatric mental health rotation. And it was wonderful to go back there. Last year, I had this group down there, and the people still remembered them. And they were asking, how are they doing? What are they going to do after their graduation? You were talking about the education here at UMFK. I again realized when I was down there that what we're doing up here is really an excellent program. I've met with all the clinical instructors from the various universities and colleges down there, and they were like really getting quite concerned because they have to change their curriculum because community-based nursing is really very important. And I was sitting there and they were asking me, so are you, what are you doing? Are you planning to change? And then No, we're doing it already. They were talking about, and the students here, they will just love this next part. They were talking about, especially with psychiatric nursing, it really has improved a lot. There are so many things that's out there, different illnesses, and it's really very difficult to teach the students everything. And this year I've started doing it problem-based learning. These students don't like it. They don't realize how much they learn. And again, I mentioned and I said, you know, this is what I'm doing, and I was able to cover so much. And the students, the things that's important in psychiatric nursing, like communication, they don't realize how much they really get out of it. And this group of students that's sitting here in front of me at the moment, they've had some experiences with problem-based learning, didn't like it at all, it's a lot of work. But I'm sure when you're out there working, you will remember it and think back and, yeah, you know, we really worked hard, but yes, I can remember, I can still remember what happened in that little group. So sometimes, and I think back when I was a student, I really did not appreciate what I was going through, please. Really. I can remember it was January 1st, 1975 when I started with my nursing. And I was sitting the previous night, I was sitting in the bathtub, was in the nurse's residence, and I was thinking, what on earth are you doing here? Are you ever going to make it? And today, after so many years, if I have to make a choice again, that will be nursing again. It's challenging nowadays. It's not like 10, 20 years ago, where you can just go and say, oh, well, I would like to work in this hospital, I would like to work on this unit, this specific shift. You have to be creative. And I think the group here in front of me, you're very well prepared for it. I think the only thing that you really need to do, and that's just kind of a pep talk, you should start to believe in yourself and realize how much you've really learned here and that you can do it. I'm quite happy in any hospital where you're working, that I will be quite happy working with you and being a patient. It all depends what kind of patient I am. I won't go into that. But I really think you've got an excellent education here, and you are well prepared, and you will be successful. And I can still remember 2 years ago when you came into my 300 class. We were all scattered and bewildered and overwhelmed and what's going to happen next. And I can't believe it's 2 years later and you're sitting here, ready to go out in the world. As I say, I'm sure you're going to be very, very successful. And it was a pleasure having you as students, as I had you for about 3 semesters. That was more than enough. But I really enjoyed you all, and I hope to see you somewhere along the line again. The next is Alona Harris, and she's going to do a little reading for us. I hope I've gone in the right order because my program is gone.
I'm a little ahead of the game, but I don't think it matters.
Sorry about that.
I was asked to do an inspirational reading, and I was drawn to 2. Can you hear me? It's working all right in the back? Yep? Okay. The first one is called, Is It Necessary to Have a Teacher? Do not overlook the most important teacher that you have, which is your own intuitive knowing. Teaching is always a reminder, a stirring up of embers. This allows what is dormant in the consciousness to come into active focus. One cannot teach out of whole cloth. You are all channels. You are all open to hear your own hearts, or you would not be here. From the deep well of your own human experience, you bring up the cool, clear waters of love, of knowledge, of wisdom, to give to the rest of your human community. To the extent that you are in truth, to that extent are you a light in the heavens, shining forth, love and light and God. But remember, when a teacher ceases to learn, he ceases to teach. Such a one becomes rigid and fixed, a signpost, perhaps, but not a teacher. The concept of teacher as student and student as teacher is not new. It has been spoken of by the wise souls of every generation. There is much learning to be derived from the teaching process, but the teacher must remain the student if the teacher is to grow. The next reading is dated May 11th, which is your official graduation. The distance doesn't matter, only the first step is difficult. Life continually presents us with opportunities for achieving what we desire. Only the first step is difficult. Each time we sense the possibility of a new direction in our lives, we are being given a chance to grow. Sometimes the first step is a big one. Sometimes we start to take it almost without noticing. A dream, a book, a conversation. Sometimes growth may come from not taking what looks like an opportunity. Whatever choice we make, we can be challenged to grow. The distance doesn't matter. Our road has many branching paths. What we work and pray for is the ability to see those paths clearly and the strength to take a first difficult step. Today, my first step may be surrender.
Thank you very much, Alona. Alona, you have taken one of my pages here. You see, you just have to be assertive and just ask for it. Thank you very much, Alona. That was really very nice, and I really hope that you will take that with you. Especially the first one. Don't think when you walk out here with a degree that that's the end, that you know everything. I thought that when I got my first diploma, and I thought, oh, I know everything. Well, after I've got my doctorate, I realized that you don't know anything. So keep that in mind. Okay, the next is Vince. Sorry that I've missed you, but it's Judy's fault.
Begin with, I want to welcome, can everybody hear me? I specifically want to welcome Senator Parity, Representative John Martin, Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Willen, the faculty of the Division of Nursing, and Lena, our person who keeps the glue and everything together within the division, the family, friends, and loved ones, and most of all the students and the graduates here. I've been asked tonight to specifically talk about the pin and the symbol of the pinning and the pinning ceremony. And to begin with, what I'd like to talk about is that it's most fitting that the pinning ceremony precedes the commencement ceremony. And the reason for that is that this pinning ceremony symbolizes a lot of many things. And one of the things that it does represent is the welcoming you into the profession of nursing. For all of you, it is this time for this pinning ceremony is a celebration over your accomplishments, a time of transition into a new life and a new profession. It also is a time when the faculty can and do greet you as peers, and when I personally have the greatest opportunity to officially welcome you into the profession of nursing. That to me has been something that I've always cherished with each graduating class, is having the ability to welcome you into the profession through this ceremony. Part of the ceremony tonight, as I mentioned earlier, was to receive the UMFK pin. And the pin itself is a symbol. It's an authoritative summary of faith, a relationship that stands for something that is significant and important. Your education, specifically here at UMFK, representing community health, as someone talked about earlier, home health care, is represented through this pin. On the pin, we see some specific symbols, and I hope all of you will share the pin with your family afterwards so they can see some of these symbols and see what the meaning is for them. But the meaning is a little different for all of us. And because of that, I'm going to share my interpretation of some of this individual symbols on the pin. One symbol is a lamp, and that's one of the most predominant things that you see on the pin. And the lamp to me symbolizes the light or the way to bring knowledge and enlightenment to all and to yourself, and to be able to see ahead and to guide and to direct yourself and others. Specifically within nursing, to me, the lamp means a bringing of light into patients' darkness. It represents a flame of hope that we bring to those who may be experiencing despair. Another symbol of the pin that we see is the outline of the state of Maine. And this, it represents not just where you graduated from, but in and itself brings a history of its own. And this history to me represents the strength of the people of Maine, their uniqueness and their rurality, ruralness. On the outline of this symbol on the state of Maine, you'll see a star at the top. Some people who look at that will probably say, oh, that's where you're from, the top of Maine. But no, to me it really means not just the top, but the best, the gem in the crown of Maine. And that's where you're from. And that's the meaning. More symbols are represented on your pin. First of all that I'll talk about is the letters BSN. What does that mean? Well, we know that it means Bachelor of Science in Nursing, but that is not enough. Beyond just the letters and the words, it represents the professional degree. And this is based on education in the liberal arts that are clarified and honed in the sciences and firmly based in caring, holism, nursing research, and theory. At the base of the pin, you will also notice an abbreviation for the University of Maine at Fort Kent. To me, this is very significant, and the reason for that is all the other symbols rest upon it. So all of the mission of the University of Maine, looking at the area being multicultural and the environment, bilingual, everything else is all represented within that unit of K symbol below. A lot of this, I bet, most of the students here worked on developing this pin, and I don't know whether they thought of all these things when they did it, but I'm adding to it. Hopefully we'll start a history of what tradition of the pin means. When you look at your pin now and in the future, many memories will come forth. Remember the good times, which I understand a little later we're all going to hear about. That'll be good. And also remember the difficult times. Look at the changes that have occurred within you and the growth that you've experienced. Cherish what you have done because it was done well. Again, congratulations and welcome to your new profession.
Thank you very much, Vince. About the pen, as Vince said, the students have helped to design this pen, and I don't think at the end it was really we have to get this pen going, and I don't think they have even thought of any of the symbols. It was like we have to have Maine there, and that was it. So perhaps later on they will really appreciate it, but I think at that time when we were busy developing it and designing it, it was like a major crisis, just one of the crises in their lives. I think we should go ahead and start with the pinning ceremony. What I'm going to do is I will call up each student plus the people that's going to do their pinning. So as say, if I call you up, if you can please just come up here. If people want to take pictures, please turn so that your family, friends, that they can see you. Okay. First one is Susan Marie Bouchard, and she will be pinned by her husband Don and son Brad. Now I have to tell you while they're coming up here, Brad, of course, he's like also part of the nursing division. He has really helped us a lot with our float and everything. Brad is there. So I'm sure both of them are glad that this is over. But he had volunteered that next year, even if Sue's not going to be here, he'll still come and help me. So I'll keep that in mind. also at that time, I would like to give the students, if they have something to say, I would like to give them the opportunity to do that.
I'd like to thank my husband and my son for always being there for me. It's been rough, but it's been fun. And my family and friends, especially my parents and my mother-in-law. The staff at Northern Maine Medical Center for supporting me, especially the emergency room department nurses for believing in me. Thank you.
The next student, Seth Brooker, and his friend Monique Refuse will do the painting.
I'd like to thank Monique for putting up with me. My friends here at UMFK and the faculty, and my parents, and my sister too. They're not here, but hi, Mom.
Faith Cody and her husband Stacy will do the painting.
I just want to thank my husband and my family and my church family as well for all their prayers and support and helping me through the rough times.
The next, Dawn Desjardins and her husband Thomas and two children, Ashley and Tommy, will do the painting. Next is Elaine Desjardins, and her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Desjardins, will do the painting.
I just want to thank my family and friends who helped me through the rough times also and were always there for me. I also want to thank all the people who believed in me, and especially Jason. Thanks for your shoulder to cry on once in a while, and thanks for always believing in me.
Joanne Desjardins and her son Kale and her sister Jamie will do the painting.
I'd like to thank my husband Clem for the long nights and for putting up with the long nights.
Brenda, what exactly do you mean?
For putting up with the long nights and reviewing the papers and going without meals. And I'd like to thank my family, my sisters, for their support, and my mother in Florida for her support. Thank you.
I really didn't think, and I'm sure all the students, they're very surprised that Brenda can make a mistake like that. Brenda's really worked very hard, and I think with all this the pinning ceremony, organizing everything, so I think it's just a little bit of confusion. That's okay, we will excuse that. Patricia Marie DeVoe and her husband, Galen, will do the pinning.
I'd like to thank my friends and my family for their support and their patience, and especially my sons and my husband for their self-sacrifice. It's many years that I've been here.
Sabrina Jean Dixon and her fiance Carolyn will do the pinning.
I'd just like to say thanks to Carol and my mom and dad for standing by me and supporting me. And I'd like to say congratulations to all the other fellow classmates.
Roy Gardner and his wife Deborah will do the pinning. Sure, we won't give up this opportunity.
I want to thank my wife and my family and friends, and particularly my classmates for helping me get through these 4 years. Thank you.
Lisa Ann Landry and her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Landry, will do the pinning. Anne Willett, and her mother, Miss Solet, will do the pinning.
I would like to thank my parents and Alan for having patience with me when I no longer had any, and my classmates for making me laugh when I didn't think anything was funny anymore.
Amy Denise Pelletier and her mother, Mrs. Pelletier, will do the pinning.
I'd like to thank my family and friends for putting up with my complaining and moaning about inquiry-based learning.
Christine Picard, her mother, Mrs. St. Pierre, will do the pinning.
I'd just like to thank my family and friends that supported me during these past 5 years.
The next is Suzanne Ray Corse, and her husband Jason and the little one, Derek, will do the pinning. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately one of the students, Deirdre Raymond, couldn't be here. She apparently has got the flu, so sorry that she has missed this. Pamela Joy Secord and her mother, Mrs. Secord, will do the pinning.
thank my friends, my classmates, my mom, dad, the rest of my family. I really am happy. It's not tears of sadness. And a special thank you to Mom Martin, who's been there for me all the time.
Well, Pam, I thought all of the students will be so happy when they come up here and it's like, thank goodness we're done with you. But it seems like if you're very sad to leave us. Next, Daisy Slocum and her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Slocum, will do the pinning.
I just want to thank my family, the faculty, the staff, and all the other students.
Sharon Carolyn Smart and her mother, Mrs. Smart, will do the pinning.
I'd like to thank my friends and family for being here today. It really means a lot to me. It makes it even more special.
Audrey Jane Sullivan and her mother, Mrs. Sullivan, will do the pinning. Kristen Marie Vizin and her friend Chuck Michaud will do the pinning. Just to be different, I'm going to sing. Joke. I just wanted to thank my mom and dad for all the support they gave me and
also check on his family for the same. Thank you.
Mark Stephen Wakefield and his wife Laura will do the thing.
Well, I'm known as being verbose, so I'm not going to say too much, but it all started when I was about 3. My sister fell down and cut her knee, and I put a Band-Aid on it. I just want to thank my family very much. It's been a rough 4 years, and they've been very supportive. My kids, when they've wanted to play, I've had to say no and do schoolwork. And I want to thank the teachers. Thank you.
I'm going to ask the students to stand up. I would just like to say congratulations, good luck. The next is I would like to introduce the Student Nurses Organization, the officers. Amy Pelletier. Brenda Neto-DeVol. And Sue Bouchard. And they have got something to say.
First of all, we would like to present Dr. Rowena Tessman with a presentation bouquet for her efforts as our advisor for our club, and for all the work that she's done for us, and for all the support that you've been, and for being there. Thank you very much.
I was actually very clever. The past 2 weeks I was down in Bangor, so I just got all these frantic phone calls early in the morning, but I really wasn't here, so thank you very much for everything that the 3 of you have done.
We'd also like to acknowledge and thank Cary Medical Center for the corsages and boutonnieres that they provided. And we'd also like to thank Northern Maine Medical Center for the wine and cheese party that they put on for our class, and the Aroostook Medical Center for the wonderful luncheon that they provided.
On behalf of the Student Nurses Organizations, we bid farewell to supporting staff, faculty, and to all nursing students. We would also like to recognize family and friends for support and encouragement throughout the years. To our classmates, we became a family 2 years ago, and we watched each other grow. In times of hardship and struggle, we pulled together to support one another. We have many wonderful memories that will stay with us for a long time to come. Best of luck to all in your nursing careers, and congratulations. Thank you.
They told me I had to come up here. We would feel privileged and an honor to be able to, Dale, we'd like to have you come forward for a moment to represent my class in presenting to you a gift, a token of our affection and appreciation for all that you've done for us. You've been an intricate, well, really, you have been an intricate part of our learning experience, and we're going to miss you, and I know the other classes are going to miss you also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is most unexpected. The truth is, I'm sort of based out of Caribou, so I'm not up here a whole heck of a lot. Most of these students have seen me over TV more than anything else because I teach over the interactive TV system more than I'm actually on campus. But I'm very touched. Thank you very much, and best wishes. You're now one of the peers. We're no longer student and teacher. We're all peers. Good luck.
You came to UMFK 2 short years ago with a desire to teach others all that you know. You taught us to be caring, compassionate, and kind, a better mentor than hard to find. With a sense of humor and an attitude low-key, you have given a lot to my classmates and me. You taught us nursing, maternity, peds, ethics, and community health, but also life's lessons. Be kind to yourself. With black tights, red scarves, and a tummy named Harry, you made taking these courses a little less scary. Before we began our examination sessions, you gave us all some tap dancing lessons. You knew just how to relieve our stress. That is probably why you are one of the best. You are so open, honest, and down to earth. I am sure you don't realize what you are worth. You advised us, supported us, and had many suggestions. You were always available to answer our questions. You have had a great influence on all that we do, and we will be better nurses because of you. Dr. Alona Harris, the onus is on you to come forward and receive a gift of appreciation.
I thought I told this class a few weeks ago how I felt about them, and I'll repeat it again. In my 19 years of teaching, I have never come across such a special group of students as I have here at the University of Maine at Fort Kent. You are hardworking, you are diligent, you have initiative, you are bright, you are caring, and you know what you want, and you're going to get it out of life. Bottom line, you are a wonderful reflection of the university and your community. I feel enriched by the past 2 years. I feel it was an honor to be able to work with you, and I wish you only the best. Be kind and gentle with yourselves and with each other. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. Alona, I don't know, what on earth have you been teaching these students? It looks like more like poetry. Because this poem, it was really very, very well done. So, thank you very much for the three of you that were up here. Oh, excuse me, it's due to the English professor. Won't mention names here. We have come to the end of our opening ceremony, and as Alona had said, this group was really very special to me. Alona and I came here at the same time, and we got them in the 300 level in the junior year. And as I said earlier, they were scared, bewildered, overwhelmed, and it's amazing to see them here, and they have received their pins, and on Saturday they will be at the graduation. Again, congratulations and everything of the best. And please do not forget us here at UMFK. If you're still in this area or if you come back here, please come and see us. We're always happy to see former students. Thank you very much. Let me see, it's getting quite late here. It's about 10 to 7. After this ceremony is completed here, the people that are here for the dinner, we will be proceeding to Nolan Hall, and you can really just follow the students. They are quite well aware where it is. And I would like the students to get up, and I think for last we can give them a hand, and we will follow them.